And more importantly, you haven't got any one person who's in charge of this project. Nobody gets fired for not delivering.
Watch. That is MP Rupert Lowe, sitting in a parliamentary committee, staring down a senior civil servant and demanding accountability for what he calls billions of wasted taxpayer money.
On this, what I call dream, which sounds great, but you're not going to be able to deliver it. So I am seriously concerned, sitting here representing the taxpayer, that you're going to fail.
He says the entire system is unfit for purpose and warns they are about to be overtaken by the digital revolution. But it's his final demand that stuns the room.
I want one person, and when they fail, I want them fired. That's what we need to start getting in government, and then we might get some action.
No excuses. No clusters. Just fire people who fail. Share this video right now. Subscribe, and let's roll the session.
I firstly start with our questioning to Rupert Lowe, please.
Thank you, Chairman. It's rare for me to start, but thank you for picking me first. Good morning, everybody. So I read this report, and all of the witnesses here today, as they were, I think they've been changed for various reasons today. Cat Little's not here, and it's been changed. I didn't realise that until just now. But I mean, they've all built the witnesses have all built their careers on driving efficiency. Now, I think you would ask a question here. Either they're not the right people to deliver the project, or the project is wrong and doomed to fail. And it sounds good, it sounds great, like all civil service initiatives. Let's get shared services, let's get some equivalent to private sector efficiencies. That sounds great, it's a great strapline. But again, I read the inefficiencies here. Applicant tracking system, ATS, shelved. Shared services portfolio, incomplete. Project ownership, vague. I want to talk about that in a minute. Risk management, patchy. Managing interdependencies, concerning. Okay, I'd say impossible. That's my view on that. So another question for you is, how can you deliver efficiency across shared government systems when the entire approach to the project itself is inefficient? I don't understand. I mean, I run lots of private sector businesses. I don't see, and you can give me the verbal baby food, Jerome, but at the end of the day, I want to drill down and know, I want to understand, this has been going on a hell of a long time. A lot of taxpayers' money has been spent on this. Our job is to protect the taxpayer, not anything else. The taxpayer wants value for money. So I'd like an answer to that. And I haven't had one yet.
So two things. So firstly, if I can just come back on your previous point about either the strategy is doomed to fail, we don't have the right people in place. I think the strategy is not doomed to fail, and I think we do have absolutely the right people in place. And I might let Nathan and Diane speak, but these are people with deep expertise precisely in delivering this sort of transformation. So I think we do have right across the clusters. And remember, this
clusters don't always agree with what you're telling us here. The clusters, if you read the report, the clusters actually contradict what's been. So they contradicted what was said by the NAO uncovered that, as they usually do in their excellent reports. So that's not entirely consistent. So I mean, again, if you can't even build and maintain a routine dashboard, which is in this report, as you probably know, I fail to see how you can deliver resounding success and value for money on this project. If you can't even deliver the dashboard, how can you tell?
Shall I? So I would sort of question that, your assumption there. So I would have said that the dashboard is one of the big points of progress that we've made, actually. And yes,
I don't think the NAO would agree with you.
Well, so that is a development since the last report. It is something that and again, the quality of the returns is now much better. But
and more importantly, you haven't got any one person who's in charge of this project. Nobody gets fired for not delivering. There's nobody. I can't see who's actually. And if you have a project in a private sector company, somebody's given the job, and if they don't deliver to timelines, they get fired. Historically, you haven't delivered to timelines. We're reviewing progress, and I can't see any progress. So I think you've seriously, and you mentioned AI, Jerome, I think you've got to sit down with a cold towel on your heads and decide, are you going to be overtaken by the digital revolution, and are you going to eventually do what the NAO did, the National IDS did? Are you going to junk this when you get overtaken by the digital revolution, which I can see happening. Because I just don't see that this is fit for purpose, and I think you're going to waste billions more of taxpayers' money on this, what I call dream, which sounds great, but you're not going to be able to deliver it. So I am seriously concerned, sitting here representing the taxpayer, that you're going to fail, and I think you need to seriously think about that now.
Let me just pick up a few of the points. So the first thing to say is that we made a conscious choice in designing this, that we would take a cluster approach.
You didn't, because you weren't there.
We government ministers made a conscious choice to deliver this via 5 clusters, each of which have an AO and an SRO and so on. So,
Jerome, you've been there a month. You just said so. You're in charge now, but this has been going on a long time.
Yes.
Hasn't it?
Yeah, so that's precisely my point. So each of the 5 clusters has an AO and an SRO who are responsible for each of their programs.
I think you all need to sit down and reappraise the entire thing, because I think you're going to fail. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to make the same mistakes that have been made in the past. We're going to come back to this meeting. You're going to tell us, oh, progress has been made a bit here, a bit there. And whoever takes over, and if you plough on with this, I want to see somebody in overall charge of this, not clusters, not lots of different people who can all blame each other. I want one person, and when they fail, I want them fired. That's what we need to start getting in government, and then we might get some action. So that's my view, Geoffrey.
Thank you, Rupert. I think that we will reflect very carefully on the questions and the answers.
A brutal dressing down of the civil service. Low demands that government projects run like private sector businesses, where people actually lose their jobs if they fail to deliver. So here is the question, and I am pinning the best answer. Should senior civil servants be automatically fired if a project wastes taxpayer money? Leave your answer below. Like this. Subscribe.